Yo, what's up guys, welcome back to the channel. And on today's video, we're going to be talking about active recovery. Because we all know that we have to recover after our hard workouts. I mean, even not our hard workouts. Like sometimes our easy workouts are more hard than we think, but I think I'm getting ahead of myself. So this video is going to be about active recovery. We're going to talk about different ways that you can actively recover. So let's get into it. Okay, today's topic is brought to you by Run Street. That is, I found this article on Run Street. The article is titled, "Forget the Couch, Trainer Shares Active Recovery Workout Ideas." So yes, we will be talking about some ways that you can actively recover. And this may seem like a very simple topic, right? We know what active recovery is, but active recovery just, I don't know, I know it's something that we all do, but when I'm out doing a hard workout or a hard effort, even if it's an easy effort that feels hard, I don't think to myself, man, I just can't wait to do some active recovery. No, like I fantasize about passive recovery. You know what that is, like sitting on the sofa and doing nothing but eating bonbons or a nice bowl of ice cream. Like that is the kind of recovery that I dream of, but it's not always the best kind. And I mean, it's not always the best kind because it won't actually make you feel better. Well, you know what, it probably will make you feel better in the moment when you're sitting down, but the second that you try and get up, those sore muscles are still going to be there and you will be stiffer than ever. So I find that active recovery is absolutely key after a really hard effort and especially a race. So let's just take races for example, because I've done several recently and I know that the next day or even like later in that afternoon, the more I'm moving around, even if I'm tired, the more I'm moving around, the better my legs are going to feel. And if that's how it is for me, that's going to be how it is for you because, you know, we're all pretty much the same. So no matter how tired and fatigued you feel after a hard workout or after a race, just keeping moving is going to make you feel better. In fact, just now I'm reminded of when I've run ultra marathons, you know, the times when I'm running that I'm going to be out there for a really long time. Those are the type of events where speed doesn't really matter, but you're just on your feet for a ridiculous amount of time. On those events, I don't like to sit down at all. And that is because I know that once I sit down, I am not going to want to get up again. Like it feels good to sit down, but standing back up feels worse than I ever did before I sat down. So I found that it's better to just avoid sitting down. And the same thing is going to be after you've run a race or after you've knocked out a really hard interval session. Your legs are going to be tired and you're going to want to sit down. And look, there's going to be time for that. But if you want to feel better, staying active, moving your body a little bit with very minimal effort is going to be the best way to feel better. And when I say feel better, I'm talking about easing muscle soreness. And this article actually says that by doing active recovery, it's going to help you prevent injuries more so than just by sitting. And I know that just sounds totally counterintuitive. Like, how could sitting on the sofa injure me more than moving around? Well, I think it's because when we get up after we've been sitting, we are just incredibly tight. We feel absolutely terrible. And so you're more likely to, I don't know, maybe pull a muscle. That's how I would interpret it. If you know the real reason, definitely drop a comment and let me know. But I know that once I get up off the sofa after I've done a really hard workout or I've done a race, if I move quickly, I am definitely risking injury. So basically, active recovery is where it's at. If you participate in active recovery, you are going to recover quicker. You're going to get back to those hard workouts that you love. Okay, so let's talk about what an active recovery workout really is. And I don't know, using the word workout is probably inappropriate. It's not really a workout, but maybe that's just semantics. When I say workout, I mean that I'm putting in some hard effort. Like when I do a workout, it's at a very high RPE. And when you're doing an active recovery workout, it's at a low RPE. Now, the article suggests that your RPE shouldn't be above a 2 when you're doing active recovery. And this was actually surprising to me because I know that I go out for a lot of easy runs. I mean, especially since I have run my last marathon, I've been doing a lot of easy runs, and seeing that RPE shouldn't be above a 2 made me realize that they are not active recovery. Like they are still workout. They are easy runs. So an easy run isn't necessarily an active recovery workout, right? I mean, that does make sense. I'm not really as surprised as I'm sounding right now. I know that any kind of running is probably not active recovery. So a 2 on the RPE scale is very minimal. So I think the obvious example of active recovery is walking. You do some light cycling or some yoga. I know I have a Peloton bike and sometimes I'll get on there and just spin my legs just so they're moving, you know, not putting in any kind of effort, barely raising my heart rate, but just moving my legs in that circular motion feels really good. The same way with walking. Now, the funny thing about walking is that I think it can be deceptively difficult. I know that after I have run a marathon, I'm kind of in two minds. Like, I definitely want to sit down, but I know that walking will make me feel better. But walking is still such a challenge after I have had a big workout or run a marathon. Like I kind of have to choose the lesser of two evils. And, the lesser of two evils is walking. Because once I start walking and I kind of get warmed up and kind of into it, the whole process of walking doesn't feel as difficult as when I start. So that's actually a lot like running, isn't it? When you get started, it's always difficult. And the old adage in running is not to make any decisions in the first mile. The same thing is probably true with active recovery. You might not feel like doing it, but once you do it, you will feel better. Okay, so some of the benefits of active recovery are increasing blood flow and circulation. This is going to help deliver oxygen and nutrients to muscles, which in turn are going to help aid in repair and recovery. And also, as we've already mentioned, it's going to help reduce the soreness. So DOMS, in case you're new and you've just seen the word DOMS lying around, stands for delayed onset muscle soreness. And it's that type of soreness that doesn't immediately come after a workout or a race. It's delayed. Hence the D. If it wasn't delayed, it would be OMS. And for some reason, that just doesn't sound as good. It doesn't roll off the tongue as easy. So by doing active recovery while you have DOMS or before DOMS even sets in, it's going to boost that natural recovery process. And ultimately, it's going to help you get back to training a lot quicker than you would have without it. Okay, this is another big one. And I've already kind of mentioned it because I've talked about how stiff I am after I sit down on the sofa and then I try to get up again. But doing active recovery will actually prevent injuries and improve your mobility. So active recovery is going to improve and maintain joint flexibility, and that itself will reduce your risk of injuries. These active recovery workouts can also improve your posture and your range of motion in your joints. Like, have you ever tried to run a marathon and then do the splits? It is exceedingly difficult. Of course, I imagine it would be easier if I could do the splits without running a marathon. I suppose just any kind of stretching. Maybe doing the splits is just taking it too far. So I guess, is there any of you out there that can actually do the splits and have run a marathon? If there is, drop a comment and let me know. Is it more difficult to do the splits after a marathon than it is before? I'd imagine that to be the case. Anyway, I can't do the splits. Let's just say bending over, doing a good morning. You know, that stretch where you kind of bend down and then stand up, you kind of hinge at your hips. Even that's not even using my legs. And that is more difficult after racing a marathon or doing a really hard workout than it is before. I feel like I'm kind of getting off topic, but maybe I haven't lost you completely. Point is that active recovery is going to make you feel better. It's going to increase your range of motion and it's going to keep the blood flowing. Oh, I think one of the biggest benefits of active recovery is just keeping your mental state in check. You know, of course, you've heard the concept of like the post-race blues where you've been training for an event for a really long time and then that event happens and you have crushed your goals and then all of a sudden you don't have anything to work towards. You don't have anything to look forward to. So by just having something else to do, so in this case, active recovery, you're going to have something to focus on instead of focusing on these intense workouts all the time. Just going out and moving your body in a very low aerobic state, it's going to promote relaxation and reduce stress. At least that's what the article says, and that's how it works for me. But one more thing, the article also says that active recovery can promote well-being and encourage a more positive attitude towards training. I suppose this could be true. I think maybe if you've been hitting a training block really hard, it's nice to kind of come down for a little bit without stressing about all those intense workouts. So yeah, I'd agree with that. Finally, the article suggests that active recovery can help you maintain your fitness levels. And while at first glance, I was kind of like, I don't know. Like, how can spinning your legs on a bike without any kind of effort maintain your fitness? How can going for a walk maintain the same fitness level that you've been building up in training for an event or doing a hard workout? Well, I suppose it's basically because of keeping that flexibility, of promoting blood flow, of being able to move easier. So when it comes time to getting back into those hard workouts, you're going to more easily move to those harder workouts rather than if you were to just sit on the sofa after you've done a hard workout or a race. It will be just crazy difficult to get up and just start working out again. You know that old saying, a body in motion stays in motion? There's probably some truth behind that. So we've already talked about the RPE level of active recovery, and that is not to be above a 2, but ultimately it's about listening to your body. Now, if you are feeling drained, exhausted, or really taxed in any way, you need to lower your intensity level or just stop completely. The idea of active recovery is that it is restorative. It's not taking anything from you, it's actually giving back. It's important to stay open to different kinds of active recovery. You may want to target different muscle groups. Now, you might be wondering, how often should I be doing an active recovery workout? Well, that is going to depend on your training plan. It's going to depend on your goals. It's going to depend on your history. Some plans are going to have like built-in recovery days. Some plans are going to have built-in cross-training days. And the article says that in general, 1 recovery session a week is probably a good start for most people. And you should consider doing those recovery workouts after a hard workout, right? That kind of makes sense. Now, if you guys follow me on Strava, you know that I will typically run 6 days a week, but I don't take any days off of doing absolutely nothing. I mean, it's very rare that I will have a day where I do absolutely nothing. Usually I will schedule a day off at a time when I can get to the gym and maybe do an elliptical workout. And I use the term workout very lightly. When I am on the elliptical, and if you follow me on Strava, you probably see these fairly often. When I'm on the elliptical, basically I am doing a recovery workout. Basically my legs are just turning and I'm watching watching YouTube on my iPad. Like, that is a way for me to just flush out my legs, to get them moving without any excessive effort. And I get to catch up on YouTube. Because believe it or not, I know you're watching me on YouTube right now, but I do not watch enough YouTube. It seems really funny to say because I think a lot of people would be different, like they watch too much YouTube. Actually, now I think about it, maybe I do watch too much, but there's so much out there that I want to watch that it seems like I'm not watching much because I don't get a chance to get to everything I want to watch. Okay, finally, the article goes into different ways that you can active recover, and we've already gone over most of them. So we got walking, light cycling, elliptical, dynamic stretching, and restorative yoga. There's also foam rolling, which seems to just get thrown into any kind of recovery article. I don't know, like, I'm not a fan. I do have my foam roller up here, and I did take it down in the last week to try and do it, but I just can't get into it. I'm not a fan. In fact, I'd rather do anything else other than foam roll. I also have a massage gun sitting right here, and that gets a lot more use than my foam roller. But the article doesn't actually mention massage gunning instead of foam rolling. So there's probably some different mechanics going on there between the two, which is kind of obvious because using a massage gun feels good, foam rolling does not. Now, of course, there are some common pitfalls that come with active recovery, and basically that is not being actively recovered. That's doing too much or going too hard when you are trying to recover. I'd probably say that's the biggest one, right? If you are going out for an active recovery and you do too much, then you're not giving your body back something. You're still taking, which could lead to injury. And injury prevention should be our number one goal. Like, we want to train and we want to be fit, but we can't do anything if we're injured. So injury prevention should be our number one goal. Another common pitfall is pain or ignoring pain. Look, if you feel any pain, you have to stop what you're doing. I would recommend you see a doctor, but that's kind of because I have to. I don't know you, I can't diagnose you. So see a doctor. Is that funny adage that I often see in like running memes where a doctor asks a runner, how much pain are you feeling? And the runner replies, only the normal amount. And the doctor says, the normal amount of pain is 0. So your own pain is going to be something that you have to gauge for yourself. But also as a runner, I know that there is a base level of pain that can happen when we're training for something, when that training is getting really intense. Yeah, you're kind of always in just a little bit of discomfort. Maybe that's not a good thing. I don't know, but it's normal, so I'm used to it. But I don't want you to get used to it. Anyway, ultimately, I want you to make your active recovery days just a part of your training. Build it into your training so it just becomes part of what you do on a daily basis or a weekly basis, not a daily basis. When it comes down to it, if we recover well, we are going to run well. So now it's your turn. I want to hear from you. Do you schedule an active recovery? What is your favorite type of active recovery? Drop a comment and let me know. And now, if you have been waiting this long to hear the emoji to prove to me that you've made it to this point in the video, now is your time. I want you to put the bed emoji, but not just any bed emoji. I think there's two. I think there's a regular bed emoji and then a bed with someone in it. I want you to drop the bed with someone in it in the comments below just to let me know that you made it to this point in the video. And with that, it's Matt B. This has been a video on active recovery, what to do and what not to do. Be kind, be happy, run well. See you in a couple of days.